Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Come on in, have a seat. How you doing? It's so good to have you here with me today. In today's video, I'm just going to be talking about grief again, and I have a video up on my channel about grief, losing a parent, and how it can be difficult and giving tips. And this is just kind of an updated video about grief, but specifically in regards to when you had a complicated relationship with your parent. Now, I can imagine that a lot of people can relate to this. I have conversations with individuals quite often that can relate to this. And it's just a part of life, you know, and it was a part of my own life that I had to really get through. One, because sometimes it just doesn't seem fair, and it is not. It's not fair that you didn't have the parent that you needed when you were a child. And I'm not making excuses for that parent, but oftentimes, all the time, people can only love you to the level that they know. So when you take a deeper look at a parent that maybe was neglectful, you can sometimes see a pattern of they experienced that as well. And so then it's just being passed down generation to generation until you have decided that you're going to make the difference. I feel you, baby. We're here. Okay, we're here. So if you had a complicated relationship with your parent and you never got to resolve it, I want to discuss a couple things with you. While your parent may not be on this side of the earth, you can still work towards healing and coming to a place of acceptance for you. I would say forgiveness, but that's your choice. I want you to work on accepting your parents for who they were so that you can move forward. Yes. And in that acceptance, it is acknowledging that they did not give me the tools that I needed, probably. And that's all right because they gave me all the tools that they could give me. Now, you won't be able to have a physical conversation with them, but you can do a couple things. You can write a letter. And once you write that letter, you can decide what you want to do with it. A couple things you may decide to do: burn it, shred it, put it in an envelope and bury it, put it in a bottle, and don't put it in the sea because I feel like that's like littering, but put it in a bottle and put it in the trash can, or you can find ways to release once you've accepted it. But that first step is really sitting and accepting it, and it may not come overnight. You may need a little bit of assistance to do it, and that's all right because it is a very complicated thing. That's why I think all grief is complicated, but it can be more complicated when there were unhealthy relationships and maybe things that were left unsaid before that person transitioned. So accepting the reality for what it was and releasing the guilt that you carried, thinking that it was your fault the way that your parent behaved. We're here again. Oftentimes, children of neglectful parents somehow take on the role of the martyr. Like, it's my fault that they did X, Y, and Z, but release that. The next thing is really finding your own identity Because again, when we have unhealthy dynamics with our parents, sometimes things can get intertwined and you start to feel like their identity is yours. Everything that my parent did, I'm going to do because I'm their child. You are your own person. You get to make your own decisions the same way that they made their own decisions. And because you have awareness, you already one step ahead of the game. Okay. So, really taking the time to realize that you are your own person and your parents' situation, mistakes, everything that was theirs. Give it to them and then really start to realize who you are. And that leads me to my next point, and it's kind of the same, but it's different. After a parent transitions, life is different. You may still be in the grief process, in the sadness of the process or the anger of the process, and that is all right too. Realizing where you are, how you feel, and knowing that this is still your life now is important. I don't want you to leave this world mentally because they left and because it may be the pain that's being brought up. You have your life left. You have your life left. You have your life left. You hold on to the memories. You process how you need to process, but you know and you remember that this is my life and I have to keep living and I have to live how I want to live. What I want, I have to figure out what that looks like and I have to work towards that because that chapter of your life is closed in the sense of maybe they can't cause you any more harm. Maybe they can't break your heart anymore because you're still that, little child on the inside that just maybe has a glimmer of hope that one day my parent is going to change. And death makes that possibility null and void. There's no changing them, they are gone, and it hurts, but it's all right because you are still here and you get another chance at life because sometimes people just don't have peace, and that's all right too. I want you to have peace. I want you to find a new normal for yourself and for the future you and whatever the future holds. I want you to explore whether or not you want your own family. If you do, great. If you don't, great. It's your choice. You get to decide. But I want you to make these decisions from a place of acceptance with what happened before. Because, like Mike told me, we never run into the same river twice. But if you're a blade of grass and that river come by and damage you a little, you're going to keep growing, but you won't ever be the same. And that's all right. But we can keep growing and getting better and building our toolbox and nurturing ourselves and making the decision that we're going to be the change. We're the change. Thank you so much for tuning in. If anything in this video resonates with you, leave a comment down below. And I am so thankful for every one of you. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. And yes, thank you, family. I love you so much and see you in the next video. Until then, peace, love, and blessings.